Right, so we're onto the oil pump, and basically the oil pump feels fine. Check an oil pump, basically spin it, any rough spots, any tightness, any play, that's what you're looking for. This feels perfect in every way. Spins nicely, there's no play or anything. So I'm sure it's fine, but we'll take it apart just so you can see what's inside it really. Although you've got to be careful in this case to put it back in the same place again for the sake of wear. Right, so really we should have removed this sort of pinion, is it, when the oil pump was still in situ, because when it's in situ then all the gears are there and it locks, so it naturally locks the shaft, and then you can bend back the rather strange diamond shaped tab washer and undo this nut, and then the pinion just comes straight, just lifts off again. It's an interference fit. But I didn't do that. Now what I could do is I could quickly just put the engine pinion and the intermediate pinion back on, and that would lock everything. But I'm being lazy because I don't think I need to actually remove the pinion. Lazy people take the most trouble. I can hear my mother saying it all the time, but I'm going to do it. So what we're going to do is there are 4 bolts that hold the oil pump in place, and there are 2 bolts that then hold the oil pump body together, these 2 cross-headed ones. Okay, and note that you can access all the bolts through the pinion. The holes are drilled in different places so to reach different bolts. So these 2, the ones that hold the pump body together, we can access through that hole. Okay, so we've got a Phillips or a posi drive screwdriver rather, and we'll take, and then the body will come apart. We'll have a quick check, because I'm sure it's fine, and put it back together again. Right, so the oil pump's apart. It didn't want to come apart, so I had to use the impact driver to remove these 2 screws, and then the body comes apart. So that's the end plate, and you want to watch for wear on the end plate. You can see where the gears have been sort of rubbing on the end plate, but that's that plays perfectly normal, that wear, so that's absolutely fine. And then you've got this weird groove here, which simply allows flow through one of the oil ways that's uninterrupted, because that groove corresponds with this channel here, and obviously where the gears mesh there's actually less room for the oil, so I think that just basically means it just gives it that little bit more room for the oil to get by there. And so then you've got these series of cogs, I think would be the right word, that go round, and they drive the oil pump, suck oil in, and blow it out again under high pressure, and everything looks absolutely great. I've just given everything a quick clean, just check there's no foreign bodies or wear or broken teeth, etc., and everything's absolutely fine. And I'm trying to take it apart as little as possible so I can get it back, in the same place. This shaft and this cog will come out as well. This is like a floating shaft, but I'm trying to avoid taking it out so I don't get all the gears muddled up. Yeah, so everything's fine, so I'm quite happy. Put it, screw it back together and put it in as it is. One thing, you can get high pressure oil pumps. Personally, I don't think you necessarily need one unless you're racing or you're going to do motorway cruising. Maybe you might consider one then, but I think for normal use, I think these are fine. Also, the uprated, high pressure ones are high water and expensive as well. So unless you think you need one, I probably wouldn't. Okay, so yeah, it all basically just slots back together. I think I'm right in saying that there's only a certain way it will go back together. You can't put it back the wrong way because things simply won't slot together. But I've not taken it fully apart because I'm trying to avoid creating extra wear by putting gears back in the wrong place and so on. Okay, there we go. Okay, the oil pump's all back together, all fine. Yeah, just check it's all perfect. Now I'm in two minds now, because I've realised the problem with leaving that pinion on is that I need to put the inner casing back on first, and then the oil pump, because obviously I can't get the inner casing over the pinion. So normally I put the oil pump in first, so but I'm fairly sure that it'll be fine putting the inner casing on and then putting the oil pump in. So I'm going to try. I'm going to have a go at doing that. Yeah, I think that should work. Famous last words. So I'm leaving the oil pump for now. We're going to put the inner casing on, and then it will be oil pump and so on after that. Okay. Okay, before we can fit the casing, there's three things we need to do. We've already, I think I've mentioned, there's an O-ring seal that actually goes in that groove. So I've put that in. Actually, there's a groove actually in the casing. There are two O-ring seals for the for the oil pump. So one goes in this groove here. So we need to put that in before we put the inner casing on. And the second one actually goes in this groove here, actually in the actual primary casing itself. So I'll be putting some well seal on, and then we'll be fitting those. Now also the we don't need to totally seal the entire primary chain case, inner case, because of course a lot of it is clutch and there's no oil in the clutch, so there's nothing really to seal in. But we do need to seal around the oil pump, and we do need to seal around the crankshaft, and we also need to seal here. That's the engine breather system, so there's a hole there which goes through the chain case, and it goes and allows the engine to breathe. So what I will be doing is I'll be sealing most of this simply, why not really. Like I said, it doesn't really need sealing around the clutch because there's nothing to seal, but we'll do that anyway. And the other thing is to notice just how thin that wall is between the oil pump and the clutch. And I think that's one reason why we have two oil seals. I've not known it to leak there, but I'm amazed it doesn't, because that's how thick the actual sealing is there. Right, okay, we're going to, I've done all the threads again in the casings, and I know they're all fine. So I'm going to get the well seal out and put that on, let it go off a bit, put the O-rings in, fit the gasket, and then we'll put the inner primary chain case on. Then we have the clutch shaft bearing. It's going to go in there, and then on top of the that bearing is an oil seal, and the oil seal will face open side outwards towards us, because there's going to be oil on the inside of the primary chain case, and we don't want it going through into the clutch. So the closed side is to the clutch, and the open side is outwards towards the oil. So I'll heat the casing slightly. I'm going to reuse this needle roller bearing because it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it at all. So I'm just going to oil it, and then we'll reuse it. That's a new oil seal, obviously, and a new O-ring for the oil pump. Okay, we're just heating the casing a bit. I could put it in the oven, but I try and avoid doing that because of the smell. Certain people don't like it. As I said before, I think the perfect solution is a gas barbecue. You can do it outside, and then you've got like an oven. These gas barbecues are like an oven, you've got a lid on them, and then I'm getting one next year, so a bit late, but never mind. When I've got one, I'll use it. You can do it outside, don't have to worry about the smell and that, and I think that's the perfect solution, because ideally you don't want to use a blowtorch, you don't want to use localized heating, you want to heat the whole casing up. It's not good for the casing doing localized heating, and also it's not as effective and so on. Whereas if you heat the whole case up in the oven or wherever, then the whole thing expands at the same rate and cools and contracts at the same rate. It's better for it. Okay, we've done that. Right, we've had the race in the freezer, and so now we're just going to try and tap that in. And I'm going to do again lettering to the outside because I know that's how it came out. And the key to one of these is keeping it straight. If it's straight, it should go in okay. If it's not, it won't. Okay. We're all flush there. And the bearing still turning well. I've not damaged it amazingly. And getting it in. So we're going to turn the casing over, and then when it's cooled down a bit, we'll put the oil seal in. Let's see how, I don't want to. How hot is it? It's okay. I don't want to damage the oil seal, but I think we're okay. Open side outwards, close side to the clutch. There we go. It went in dead easy because the case has been heated. There we go. Okay, getting ready to fit the outer casing. We've got the O-ring oil seal in place. We've got the clutch in with the push rod. Everything's well sealed. Yeah, we've got the outer casing, which is well sealed, and that's got the needle roller bearing in and the oil seal. And we've also got the O-ring oil seal for the other O-ring oil seal for the oil pump in that groove inside the casing. So we'll then slide the casing on, getting it through the hole on that intermediate shaft. That's the location there. It just slides on, and then we have two bolts, one slightly longer one goes top corner, slightly shorter one in the middle there, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, no less than 9 Allen screws that fit in. I think 7 go inside the casing and 2 go outside. So there's 3 around the main bearing, and there's 2 there. There's another one there, and another one there. I think that's it for the inner casing. Then we've got one that goes down here on the outside of the casing. And they're all the same length, and then we get one that goes up here on the outside of the casing as well. I'm just going to clean that up before I put it in. And so then I'm just going to tighten all these up, and that's the inner casing fitted. Okay, so we've put the well seal on the back, of the oil pump. I've worked out which way round this gasket goes so that it fits and it goes and leaves all the holes free. And now we're just going to try and insert it in its mounting, bearing in mind that this dowel goes at about the 11 o'clock position. Yeah, just wanted to make sure it wasn't go into foul. Sorry, make sure it wasn't going to foul on the rings, the O-rings. Right, now to try and move it, get it so that that dowel fits. I think that's it. Yeah, good. I think that's about in. So we can then have the 4 mounting bolts, and one of those should be slightly longer than the others. Okay, I've been hesitating there because what I didn't realise when I took it out, or maybe I did and I forgot, is that there should be 3 of these shorter bolts and 1 slightly longer one. You know that the hole that's got the dowel on it should have a slightly longer bolt, because obviously if you think about it, the dowel sticks into the casing, so obviously there's less thread. But this has got 4 of the shorter bolts, which is annoying because I can't fit it like that. So I've had to order a new bolt, which is going to hold me up just 1 bolt, because obviously they're special thin, you know, I haven't got one that size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 3 bolts in and then leave the pinion in exactly the right position, so that when the 4th one comes I can then just put the 4th one in, and hopefully I should be able to carry on with some of the other work before that bolt arrives. Okay, so I fitted the oil pump sort of temporarily. What I mean is I've got 3 of the 4 bolts in. I've put the 4th bolt in, but that should be a longer bolt. So I've just temporarily fitted the incorrect bolt, and then I'll just swap them out when the new one arrives. So I'm going to put the oil pump drive on now. So let's have a look. Yeah. So that just slides on the shaft. There's no spacer. It does go up to just sits against the inner race of the drive side main bearing, and then we've got the intermediate gear. I'll just put a bit of oil on that. Always helps if you fit it the right way around. So with the spindle facing outwards, that would help. There we go. And it just sits in like that, and that's it. That's done. That's the oil pump drive.